Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Open Panel. With me right now is Grilla's Random Thoughts. How you doing, Grilla?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. Seen a video there I watched real quick there. Man, it's been an exciting 2024 already. We start off with that terrorist attack in New York that kind of failed. The two people died there. Then we've had then we had the Epstein files drop, and now 8 state capitals had to be evacuated in the last 2 days.
Oh, nice. And Kapla, Bird of Prey, welcome to the show. Grilla. Jim's Landscaping LLC, number one Commodore Productions. Hey, Jim, good to see you again. And Jim has Puppies at Play video. Go ahead and check that out when you have time. Okay. You're saying state capitals had to be evacuated?
Yeah,
I
8
missed
of them.
that.
I think Minnesota is one of them. Yeah, I can get you the news article if you want.
Yeah, sure. Your governor's Whitmore, isn't it?
No, we got Waltz.
Okay. Keep getting you in Michigan mixed up. Hey, Gap, welcome to the show.
Yeah, hey Gap.
Another one of those so-called terror attacks, or
The Capitals threats.
they should get
So,
used to that by now.
yeah, someone threatened to go boom. Uh, Now my computer's deciding to. Okay, there we go. Oh, which? Yeah, here we go. NBC, I guess. I thought they had a map, or they showed which ones it was.
Yeah, but they get threats every day. There has to be some other reason they'd want to shut down and evacuate everything.
Yeah. Oh, street capital, or the, let's see, it's Georgia, Kentucky, Mississippi, Montana, Maine, Michigan. Uh, that's today, or yesterday. Then I think ours was today. Oh, this was written yesterday. So,
Hey, Melted Copper. Oh, Eek the Cat. That's the name I haven't heard in not long enough.
oh yeah, now they're calling it. Oh, here it is. Here's the updated Kentucky, Georgia, Hawaii, or Connecticut, Maine, Michigan, Minnesota, Mississippi, and Montana. So they're saying it's a hoax and all that, but they still had to evacuate them all.
Okay. You got someone else back here. See if he behaves himself.
I'll
Hey,
try.
Melted Copper.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'll try to behave. I got quite the Charles Manson beard going.
I can barely see you.
Yeah, I'll switch locations. So what are we talking about, guys?
Open panel. So whatever topic you want.
Well, I'm just coming off the heels of
Adele.
the Teague dialogue of the Man of Steel.
Yeah. Hey, Mr. Lundell, how's it going?
Yeah, I'll give that movie this credit. It's not the worst Superman movie I've ever seen.
I guess it's
Actually,
in that bin. Some movies are good if you view them as like a popcorn fun thing. Like, don't think too much. Like a roller coaster. Don't think too much about it. Just enjoy the ride.
Yeah. Especially considering it was never meant to be the jumping off spot for a shared universe.
Oh God, actually, I'm not really excited about Gunn's version. I mean, I want to, but it's not sounding good.
Yeah, they're on like idea 3 at this point.
Yeah, there's like a whole slew of Z-list heroes that feels like they're rushing people in, and then he wants to do like father-son Batman. Now I know I'm an old guy, but I don't need my heroes to be old dads.
No, they've had Damien for it has to be close to 15 years now.
Oh yeah, I mean, well, the thing is, DC, you can't kill your cash cow, but it does make Batman look a little creepy when one thing's finding an orphan boy and feeling bad for him, but when you have a Taco Bell staff, then you look like you're the guy with problems.
Well, when his mother is
Talia,
the daughter of the demon, yeah. So
yeah, well, at least I'll give Demon credit because at least there they hooked him up as a son, and it's not him just stealing other people's kids.
Hey, Cody guy, welcome to the show.
It's the. It's the. Yeah. Hey, Cody guy, it's the man of many words right there.
Cop Dog is one of the worst cop movies I've ever seen.
Yeah, one of the most talkative guys on YouTube.
Yeah.
We got Mikey. Hey, Mikey.
Oh, hey guys.
Yeah.
Hey,
Actually,
hey,
I
buddy.
personally hope Gunn fails at DC because I want him to do a Star Fox movie. Like, go over to Nintendo and you make Star Fox.
I agree with the Star Fox movie, but not from him.
Oh yeah, I thought his work with Raccoon and the animals and stuff. I thought as far as
if you're gonna do Star Fox, it's gotta be animated.
well, most things are now just complex cartoons. I mean, people think there's live action, like Disney remakes, but Lion King, that's a complex cartoon. There's no live action there.
Yeah.
In fact, even Little Mermaid, it's live action-ish because those are cartoons with actors' faces glued on them.
Yeah. I saw that as ungodly horrible. Hey, Teague.
Is time moving?
Hey, Teague, how's it
Great
going?
show.
So, 10 minutes.
But yeah, something a little cartoonish like they did for Super Mario Brothers would be best for Star Fox. If they can lead up to a Smash Brothers movie,
Hey,
that would be ideal.
I mean, they got Detective Pikachu. They have a Sonic film. They have a Mario film. So they could finagle that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but personally, I think that Star Fox should be more of a animated film. It would make more sense, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, definitely along the lines of the Mario movie.
See, Mario looked fun. I didn't see it because I guess because it's on par with like how video games are today. I feel like I was watching a very long cutscene. I'd be like, when do I hit start and play the game?
Well, that's the feeling you want with the Mario movie.
Yeah,
Right? Well, I guess it is a big commercial for the game, but that's kind of like there was a game. This is in the early days of CGI. There was I think it was called like Number 9 or something. It was like a Tim Burton endorsed thing, and that movie also looked like a video game. I was like, it doesn't look bad. It just looks like I'm waiting to hit start. I'm like, well, that's a good cutscene. When do I start jumping around like Abe's Odyssey and shit?
Yeah. My problem with Number 9 was the story. It wasn't very intriguing.
Yeah, it was definitely in that bin of Tim Burton's big. So what can we make that equals Toys at Hot Topic?
Yeah, Hot Topic is definitely the feeling I got from that show.
Yeah. I personally enjoyed, and I know my wife does too. We personally enjoyed the Lego movies. Like they did the Lego Batman movie, and
Oh yeah,
Lego
movies were
Superman.
fresh.
Now, those are always awesome. Yeah, those because they do pay attention to detail, and the storyline is actually pretty good. So, but I don't know. Other video games movies that I've seen just haven't done well, and most of the time they put them live action. Why do that? That's
Oh,
not a
dude,
good
speaking
thing.
of weird live actions, like there was Street Fighter, and I mean, it's good for what it is. But then later on in life, they did a movie called Chun Li, like Street
Yeah,
Fighter, and it's even more of a head scratcher because you're like, okay, if you fumbled on this one, and we live in the age of people can complain and you can hear what fans want. I don't know where they were going there. It's like, what do you guys not like money? Or are you just like using money to make fun of people?
yeah. But do you remember that Street Fighter had Jean Claude Van Damme? I think that was the only reason I actually watched it because he was dressed up right like Bison. I guess it was from the
Oh
Street
yeah,
Fighter
yeah.
game.
Well, I liked
Oh
Gomez, so
yeah,
like
yeah.
Raul Julia, that's his name.
Oh yeah.
But
That's
Hey,
I'm curious
I
about
think
I
it
just
was
want to
great.
say,
cartoons.
hi guys. I
Again,
just want to
Beetlejuice.
say,
Oh,
I want to see I want to see that movie done instead of animation, the Star Fox movie. How about with like CGI, and we'll cap it at like 2007 technology, so it'll be all weird.
oh, even better. You know what they should do? They should do Star Fox, right? But do it in an 80s like aesthetic, and just bring back the Howard the Duck-ish puppets with maybe some CGI to touch it up to make it less goofy.
All I'm gonna say is I would probably see any Star Fox movie
Mm.
just for the fuck of it. I would
Yeah,
want to
and
see
I
it.
also was thinking with Star Fox because it's Nintendo. Samus obviously is going to appear in some of those Metroids just to kind of give some brand synergy and to stick a hot chick in there.
I'll just have the end credit scene.
Oh, that would be cool. This is what I was going to say. So Beetlejuice 2 is coming out, which seems dumb, but I was just thinking, like, going on cartoons. Beetlejuice 2 should really be the cartoon live action of Beetlejuice since they were two separate guys.
Yeah,
Don't know
they're
if you
not
guys have
continuity with
cartoon
each other.
Yeah, cartoon
Yeah.
Beetlejuice was like a buddy, and he was. Can I say the grape word? He's less grapey in the cartoon than he was in the film.
Yeah, the cartoon's rated G compared to rated R.
And then I would have William Dafoe play the French skeleton. I maybe have some of the Dafoe face because I mean, if you're paying for the actor, but some skull, which is up Tim Burton's alley.
Yeah.
I'd like to see a new Mars Attacks too. I liked them. It was like my Gremlins replacement.
Yeah, but you don't have to say it was grape. You could just call him a surprise sex partner.
Yeah, there you go. Or I prefer the term forced love. Those people are thinking negative with that terminology, right? I mean, as a graper, I'm not stabbing you, all right? Some people are looking for affection. They don't just get handed it. You're being negative.
Yeah. But to be fair, he didn't try to do anything like that to Lydia. All he wanted to do was marry her.
Yeah, he was just... Actually, speaking of creepy moments like that, that's like Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. When I was a kid, I didn't know what he was doing, and I was just like, this is just funny. What's he doing? What do they do when they set up the wedding thing? I didn't know what he was doing. Only older me was like, oh, God, the sheriff is kind of a grapey bastard.
Yeah, but he always has been.
Right?
Sheriff of
Oh, yeah.
Nottingham has been no. Sheriff of Nottingham has always been a total dick since when Errol Flynn did Robin Hood. Okay, so believe me, they picked the right people to play Sheriff of Nottingham.
Oh, yeah, I mean...
Even in the funny one, we own both. Okay, we have Prince of Thieves and we have Men in Tights, and they even picked the right. They even picked the right guy. Roger Reeves to play Sheriff of Nottingham in that, and that's supposed to be comedic.
I have some real issues with Patrick Stewart in that movie, but okay.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah, he is in there. Isn't he like the king or something? I forgot he was even in there.
Yeah, he's in there for 2.5 minutes.
Like a couple minutes
at the end.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and that dude from Princess Bride he's spot on for that classic style.
I really
Yeah.
enjoyed Men in Tights until the end when he shows up. Now it's just kind of a tragic comedy. I'm like, oh look, it's the robot.
Oh man, poor man, Patrick Stewart done burn Teague bad. See, the thing is, with Star Trek is most of those characters reflect the actors, with the exception of Picard. For example, I don't know if you guys are Trekkers, but like Riker, that dude in real life likes jazz, so a lot of that character is written around Franks, whereas Picard is not at all like that actor.
Well,
Like
Frank,
He's
Frank's
a really, really good
Jonathan-
actor because the person that they sourced him off of is boring and kind of a dick.
Yeah, but Jonathan Frakes, which you're right, sir. Yeah, he's very highly talented. He can do much more than just act. He can play instruments, and he really did play those instruments in the episodes that he was featured in. You know, he can play
Yeah,
the
there's a lot of.
trombone and yeah, and everything. So
I don't know if you guys are big Trek fans because we live in the future. You can look up these documentaries, but
I'm
check out
huge.
Rick Berman. Rick Berman, I didn't know that guy was such a grimy person until I watched a few videos. And I was like, I mean, I appreciate some of his griminess. I was like, well, you know, he did us a favor with some of his 7 and 9 stuff, but he's still a dirty pervert.
Okay. I didn't know
Yeah,
Bourbon
7
was a
of 9 is
pedophile, but okay,
Don't
that's
say that
new to
word.
me. Oh, sorry, that's new to me though.
Well, if I'm getting out of hand, guys, let me know.
That is news to me.
Yeah, I knew I didn't. I've never heard anything about that about Burnham. I've known it's very public that he was a creep. To,
Yeah, the
pretty
same
much
thing.
everyone.
I think
Right.
so.
Not to
Is he the one who
kids.
Is he the one who dated Kate Mulgrew for a little while too, like right before he hired her?
Yes.
Well, I don't know. I know he took Tasha Yard's pin off her and was like, "You don't need this." And then years later, she was like, "You took that from me when I quit."
The weirdest thing about Tasha Yar was the season of The Walking Dead where her name was in the credits every week, and I'm like, wow, like when are they going to reveal her? And then I realized it was the big heavy lady from Terminus who was completely unrecognizable, and she'd had too much plastic surgery, and there's no knowing that. I was like, there's something about this woman's voice. And I'm like, oh my god, this is Denise Crosby.
Oh yeah, she's turned into a fat monster, like she got stung by bees.
That's Denise. Yeah.
I'm not like well, I'll let the fact that that she got heavy go. That happens to a
Yeah,
lot
that
of
was
people.
the
It's just that, like I will say this though, her decisions to have such radical plastic surgery that we couldn't recognize her, that was on her. I was like, who the fuck is it?
Oh, it's like I was watching because I guess during there was like a writers thing, and the actress playing Deanna Troy, I saw an interview with her, and it's weird when you see her not as a character, and she's talking about how things went bad. She's like, and then I started smoking again. And I was like, no, Troy, you don't smoke. Don't talk like this.
The one thing that is weird is that she has like a normal British accent. That accent that she does as Troy was like made up. That's not her real voice. That shocked me when I heard her speak. Aside from that, I'm not crazy about her.
Yeah, she definitely looks very Greek.
Yeah.
Right. Oh man, that lady has a rough acting credit, man, from some of the films she's in.
Greek and British, right?
No. Well,
Like I think.
yeah,
believe
I don't
so.
know if you guys remember, but
Yeah.
Xiang Young, what they had to radically do to her, to bring her back to Blade Runner.
I think we lost
2049.
Mikey.
Well, dude,
Mikey
Yeah,
will
that's
wink
crazy.
back in. Like his internet can be a little weird.
They're not paying me for it yet, but this is my brand.
What is that?
Tito's vodka, man. It's good.
Please
Cares
no
about?
open containers on the stream.
Oh, sorry. The lid's back on. Hey, at least I changed my lingo to grape. I'm working on this social ether, all right?
Yeah, go ahead and drink it, but turn off your camera.
Well, here, I'll just get a different bottle, okay? Here we go. I'll just get a soda. Here we go. It's just a white monster with nothing in it.
Okay. Got to keep it to TV PG.
Ah, man. Well, actually, never mind. It's okay. Oh, man, I was going over with Teague about things I could do on camera. One of them was about falling into glass off screen and coming back bloodied.
Or simulating self-deletion, always a bad idea.
Yeah, I know. I'd say that a lot. I guess Gallowist humor isn't quite appreciated as it should be.
Yeah, YouTube is sort of a stickler for stuff like that.
Yeah,
Oh,
the
God,
goddamn
yeah.
robots that come after our freedom of speech hate it. That's the only way to put it.
Yeah, it's like AVGN had an Atari pork video, and he had to go back and censor it, and that thing's been on the channel for like 30 years. But I was disappointed because I thought when he censored it, he'd be creative with it. You know, sometimes censorship can be fun if you make up new words to make it sound even more ridiculous.
Yeah, it helps. But it does take time and effort to do that, and I know if the return isn't there, you're just gonna.
It's also it's not within your YouTube ability. You lose the views if you dump it and re-upload it with new shit. So your YouTube ability to edit shit is really limited.
Yeah, and the downtime is edit that.
Yeah, but you can actually exaggerate certain words too. Like on some of my streams, I've been able to creatively say a certain thing, which I know if I say it the other way, it might be censored or copyright strike. But I've been actually blessed and able to collectively be creative and change certain words around to make it sound less, I guess, threatening to YouTube. So.
Yeah, they can't copyright a word.
Right, that's like when I do my uncle stuff. Instead of saying the MF word, I use mother father. That's like my I'm like, Ma, you mother father.
I don't know that MF is a particularly problematic word because it doesn't imply harm.
Oh, because I was watching a court TV, like one of these court, because now we have YouTubers that are like court TV people, kind of like right now it's mostly entertainment people as too. And there's one channel where they cut out the word MURDER. I guess I spelled it so you guys wouldn't have to censor that. But I thought that was so weird because I'm like, your whole channel is about that. How do you mute the core of your channel?
I call it red rumming people or deleting.
Oh, there we go.
Red rumming. Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, red rumming people or deleting them.
Yeah,
it's like there's a police station I watch, and he replaced all the gunshots with quack sounds.
Oh, that's a donut operator.
Yeah, donut operator. Yeah, he cracks me up.
Yeah, well, they kept hitting his channel for the gunshots.
Right? That's so weird.
Is that what it is?
Oh, really?
Yeah, because it's something about violence and stuff. It's portraying violence or something. So he has to blur out the actual incident, and then he has to put the quacks over it.
There's another guy that does that.
And that's also why you can't pretend to get hurt on stream, because then they'll have there's a show in the 90s called "You Can't Do That on Television."
Yeah, there's another guy that covers the gunshots.
Okay.
He can't hear you, Teague.
The reason why we had you can't really simulate getting hurt on YouTube is because it would then breed a culture or whatever. It would encourage the already existing problem of people selfieing off the top of the Shanghai Tower, and a lot of them don't succeed in pulling it off. So even if you pretend to hurt yourself, they're going to just not think about it and say that it's real enough for them. They'll call it glorification.
Well, it's kind of
LDG, welcome to the show.
Hey, buddy.
I'll have to get my second phone so I can see the live chat, how they interact with those guys. Speaking of that, this is I'm a 90s, I'm 40, so in the 90s, there was Batman the Animated Series and Spider-Man. They both had cartoons at the same time. But Batman got away with guns because they were old timey guns, and because they were outdated, they could use guns. But in Spider-Man, no one got to use guns. They had to have like laser rifles. In fact, even crazier is if you watch Batman, I think the Clayface episode is a direct thing about mobsters drugging a guy, and they got away with all kinds of stuff. Whereas the Spidey gang, a little bit more friendly and didn't know how to fight with the sensors.
We've all seen that weird early Batman where he has a gun.
Oh, right. That's like, well, you know what it is, because that's going on the heels of the Click first said cartoons. Tiny Toons was a guy named Bruce Timm, and they were all about fighting with the sensors all the time. Those guys were some spiteful animators that mostly went to work with how can we try to fight with a sensor for a gag? Which is why in the intro they even reference cracking up the sensors, because that was kind of their goal.
Hey, Jerm.
Yeah, Mikey.
I was just saying, did you already acknowledge Gap and LDG?
Yeah.
Hey, Pickles.
Yeah, Pickles is there. No, I was gonna say thank you for letting me back in. I was on Bird of Praise thing last night, and for some odd reason I didn't drop out once. I don't know what his channel does, or because like he's got some weird setup, I guess.
I like that. He seems like a nice dude.
Bird Prey 5 is a great YouTuber, but that sounds more like maybe your YouTube provider just had a good day.
Yeah, it's true. It did. It was nice. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty sure actually finding Bird's channel is how I found most of you guys.
That's kind of cool.
Yeah, because I think Teague appeared there first, and I kind of, like a tick, leaped onto him and then started following people around through the interwebs.
It's been a pleasure to have you along for the ride.
Right, thank you. Well, I'm working on my people skills. I live alone for many reasons. Oh man.
I like Teague's avatar. It kind of looks like Daffy Duck in hell.
It is.
Oh, Davy Duck's a classic, man.
He's on his way there. He's heading there.
Oh yeah. Well, have you guys seen the what they did with Steamboat Willie, bringing him into the public domain, and they make him look like something from hell? Like,
it's like classic. Once something turns into public domain, someone's going to be like, "Quick, get a plastic mask and let's film a cheap horror movie fast."
Well, Disney is hitting everybody who does something with Steamboat Willie with a copyright strike.
Well, you know what they did? They actually made him like the animated version of Steamboat Willie is like one of their what's it called, like an intro or something. But they tried to put him in a design to try to usurp him going into the public domain.
Yeah.
This is the deal. This is the deal. YouTube is choosing to honor their copyright claim even though it's over. There's no reason to strike you. However, this is the only two things I could come up with. One, the music wasn't originally mated directly to the film. It was another form of early talkie where they had a record playing synced up to the movie, right? And they only united that a few years later. So that version could be copyrighted, say, or it's highly possible that they cleaned up the animation and that version is copyrighted. And like, let's say they have a copyright on from 2015 or something for like the cleaned up unified sound version, but it doesn't matter because there's versions out there that aren't copyrighted. It's just a matter of finding one that they haven't tinkered with to extend their copyright. Hello, Jedi Bill.
Yeah. And hey, Bill, and hey, Janet
from another planet. It's such a pleasure to see you.
Jedi. Hey, Janet. Long time no see.
Hey, Janet. Yeah, it's a very long time.
Great thoughts on Blade Runner the other night, Janet.
Early.
And the Canadian internet is getting them again.
And we made fun of Brad and Janet from uh,
It's just a little like the transmission from the event horizon right before they go to like quantum or whatever it is that happens to them, right? It's like all of a sudden it's like liberate me, and then like he helicopters back in out of nowhere.
That or when Neo's first getting out of the Matrix.
yeah.
Or when Sam Neill wakes up in the dream within a dream, when he's the drinker always uses it. Ah! He goes popping out of the capsule.
Hey, Sam Neill was the bad guy in Memoirs of an Invisible Man. And I guess he almost was James Bond, which would have been weird.
He was the bad guy as that he would have been a good Bond. He's the bad guy in The Omen Part 3.
Oh man, it's been a while since I saw Omen. You know what a good remake is? The Fly with Goldblum. See, that's how you do a remake. You take an old film and you start working into a whole new idea, so it's kind of its own film. Oh, the Fly remake was great.
Yeah, I don't really remember the original too much.
Oh yeah, that's in like I think
it's cool and it's shocking, but like the Cronenberg one, without fucking up the original, makes a really good movie. And then what he really does is he layers on making it fucking smarter. It's a little smarter.
Yeah, he did
That's
a good
saying
job.
something using Goldblum.
He did a pretty good job. Yeah, I won't deny that, T. Yeah.
Oh yeah, that is.
Yeah.
What would people call that? Torture, like torture, the grape word, because it's like that's the part where his teeth are falling out. And I guess there's an edited scene when you watch the film. He like lifts his shirt up, and like in the film it don't make sense. But I was watching Joe Bob Briggs back a long time ago on TNT. Anyways, I guess there was a scene where he had a bug leg and he gnawed it off, and I was like, man, why didn't they leave that in the film? I guess between parts falling off and losing your teeth, they were like, all right, we need to cut it back somewhere.
Yeah, they're probably pushing NC-17 with stuff like that.
The real shame is that The Fly 2 with Eric Stoltz and Daphne Zanuga didn't go anywhere. I was very upset about that. I love Daphne Zanuga.
Oh, that movie's sad where it's like the dog. Oh, and then that guy gets all... boy, that's a theme with me, and then he wants to be shot.
I only remember some of it. I honestly only remember some of it.
I heard they're working on a play. Oh, go ahead, somebody.
I was gonna say, we were that close to having Eric Stoltz, play in the Back to the Future before
they made a chunk of it.
Got it. So
we make it all the way up to the parking lot of the mall before we decide to go and get rid of him.
Well, I guess what's his name? Christopher Lloyd wasn't even like their first choice, which sounds weird. You're like, you couldn't picture anyone that wasn't him.
Yeah,
who was the first choice?
It was someone odd. Really doesn't
like
fit.
The neighbor from Gremlins or someone like that who plays a kooky scientist.
Yeah,
I love Gremlins. But the thing about Gremlins is if water makes them multiply, why are they running in snow the entire time?
Because it's not quite water?
Right? Someone in California didn't know that snow is water. They're like,
Oh, jeez.
I just wonder, is Gremlins... Because eventually they're going to make a Gremlins 3. I just wonder if they're going to lean towards part 2 or go part 3.
There'll never be a 3.
Not 3, I meant go part 1 or go part 2.
They'll reboot.
They'll sell it first. The problem is you have to split the rights between Joe Dante, Steven fucking Spielberg, and the Home Alone guy.
And some of those guys have backbones. Those are like 3 creatives that still have spines in the modern ether.
And here's the thing: they don't get along anymore. The creatives who made Gremlins, by the time Gremlins 2 came out, the guy Chris Columbus is gone, and they made that one dark as fuck to try to have fun with it and end out the franchise. Gremlins 3 is arguably Small Soldiers. where everybody except
Oh,
Columbus
yeah.
is involved, and they replicate the family.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, I love Lionel Luthor in Gremlins too. That guy's a great actor. He's just so smug and weird. Trying to think of his name. Glover?
Oh yeah.
He's in RoboCop 2 in a smug ad too.
My favorite actor in that movie, of
Christopher
course, is
Lee
Robert
in it.
Picardo, because that's
Right.
actually
Only reason.
they cut a scene from
That was my
Gremlins
only
2.
reason.
They cut a scene from Gremlins 2 where the emergency medical hologram on the Voyager goes to the holodeck and asks to be a 90s business executive and steps in.
Did someone make that on YouTube? Because I'm sure the deepfakes
No,
is
Picardo's
able to
in
make that.
I just like seeing Christopher Lee play mad scientist.
Oh, he plays Dr. Catheter.
He's great.
Yeah.
Someone's gotten into my vegetable medley.
We know this. There are two gremlins unaccounted for. One is frozen inside concrete on top of a cathedral, and the other one is the one that was hanging out with Robert Picardo.
Oh, yeah, the lady gremlin.
Yeah, we have two gremlins survive the movie, so you could work with that.
Right. See, I'd start this. My sequel would start off with, the scene when the black gremlins appear. Well, one of them would pop out and land in a box and get mailed somewhere, and then I'd start it off as somebody finds a black gizmo, and then we'd start our crazy adventure leading up to the White House.
Yeah, you'd have to move away from Gizmo.
Oh yeah.
Or even
The
better,
guy you're thinking of was John Glover.
yeah, John Glover. That guy's great. He's great in everything he does.
Yeah.
Well, he's a funny guy for sure.
Because he's in RoboCop for like an electrical thing where something blows up and he cuts out of the car. It's good.
Yeah, but but the one actress, Phoebe Cates, I think she's a lot better off with Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh,
I couldn't believe I saw her in Gremlins 2, and I was like, "Are you serious? Why do you have to bring her into this mess of a movie?" Seriously,
I just remember Abraham Lincoln's birthday, and he had that big top hat. And
wait, hold on. You're telling me that Phoebe Cates, as we saw her in the 80s, was unattractive?
No, I'm saying that she was more attractive in Fast Times at Ridgemont High, barring the scene from the pool, as opposed to what she did in Gremlins 2 or in Gremlins 1. So
she's got a great hokey costume on.
Well, yeah, that was probably the film where she's, because when you're a lady actress, you got your moments when you're hot still. I mean, she might have been hot still then too, but you want to try to shift to being a real actor because let's face it, your boobs aren't going to stay in place for so long.
She's not too bad looking even now. Phoebe Cates is not too bad looking for an old lady.
Oh yeah, same with the girl from Labyrinth is still pretty saucy.
Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah, Jennifer Connelly.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, she was the lady for Tom Cruise in the new Maverick.
She's just a little younger, but yeah, good life choices by 52-year-old Jennifer Connelly. She obviously knew what time to leave the party. Didn't hang out with Robert Downey Jr. no matter how many times he asked, and she still looks great.
Right, and plus it's good to see Tom Cruise matched up with like a real lady actress, because usually they get whatever new hot meat can work for scale to stand next to him. And I mean, he's looking good for his age, but it's still weird to the rest of us.
It leads to a lot of movies where the female lead can't really act, like Mission Impossible 2.
Oh God, I think I felt that's about as far as I went on Mission Impossible.
That one is so bad; it takes a while to forgive it and watch the other ones. It's the worst one by a lot.
Is that the one with the Fred Durst song, the Limp Bizkit's doing the intro song now?
I believe so. And we had Tandy Newton from the amazing Solo, a Star Wars story, a movie that I know we all love.
You know what? I blame Red Letter Media for Solo's failure. It's like these writers hurt these guys at all the wrong points. For example, Solo should have been a story about Han Solo screwing over Jabba the Hutt and getting hunted down by the 7 bounty hunters that you think you'd see in this film. Instead, they were like, you know what, let's take all the stuff that you'd want, like Boba Fett fighting Han Solo, and let's just
story about his girlfriend.
Right? Yeah. What a weird story. And Hollywood loves this, guys. They love stories about random articles of clothing that don't matter.
I don't
Like
know if that
Wolverine?
movie may. I think
But in
that movie
Solo-
that movie more than Rise of Skywalker may have put the brakes on Star Wars movies. Rise of
I think it
Skywalker
did.
comes out next and it's a disaster. But what killed it was that was the first one. And listen, people might have found a way to overlook some of it, but the middle, from the middle to the end of that movie is some of the stupidest fucking stuff I've seen in my entire goddamn life. It is completely fucking stupid. We've got Freckle Jesus Aaron Kellyman. We have a 10-year-old leading the rebellion. Yeah, that's a great fucking idea. How'd that work out for Naboo? But people like The Last Jedi didn't do so great for a Star Wars movie. And then this thing comes out and it's total shit. And it's got like robosexuality in it and other creepy
What's
shit.
wrong with that? I got a few robots in real life I was ordering, and I plan on renting them out.
Yeah, the scene where Phoebe Waller-Bridge's robot talks about how she has sex with Lando didn't amuse me, and it wasn't funny, and it didn't make the movie better.
See, it didn't upset me. It just confused me because I'm like, well, how would that work? I mean, there's no milk duds to touch. Like, what's he doing in there? I don't know if you can use. I don't know if WD-40 works on the human anatomy very well. That might cause some health issues.
Well, it's only gonna get worse now. The new Star Wars director says she has an obligation to make all men uncomfortable when they watch Star Wars. So I might just.
Well, why can't they make men uncomfortable? Like give them a chubby when they're wearing tight jeans. That's usually a nice way to make us uncomfortable. Usually, if a guy mentally is uncomfortable, he just leaves and takes his money with him.
Worked all through the 70s, yeah.
Oh, dude, this is why I was gonna chuckle, but this is like Freckle Jesus. Yeah, you're doing a Captain America sidekick show, and you're gonna make a lady. I mean, in this, I don't want to sound sexist here, but it's just seeing my heroes team up to beat up a little girl is not exactly something I would envision. You know, like out of
they don't beat her even.
The Red Skull.
They don't really beat her. Like basically, after a little while, Sharon Carter coughs and gats her down, and that's the end of Carly. But up until then, like Falcon's like, I see the good in you, and I'm like, wait a minute, she just set 30 people on fire.
Right. This is like another thing because I know they made Sam Wilson Cap. Now people act like if you don't like it, it's because you're a racist. I like Falcon as Falcon because he's his own guy. He's an original black character who's not in someone else's shoes. And he has no reason to take up someone else's name because he's his own dude. Now, Bucky, on the hand, makes sense because he's a murderer. I mean, a life remover, okay? He's kind of a dirtbag. He would need the mask to kind of clean up his image, considering that his entire life was, removing people. So, story-wise, in the film, it makes way more sense that Bucky's like, oh, man, I need to cover up my image and try to look nicer. And plus, like, originally they gave him a drone, right? Because I could see back in the day they said, well, they gave him a drone because birds are stupid. But if you're making him goofy, give him a bird, okay? There's X-Men, there's talking trees, there's raccoons. Him having just a cool falcon, I think, would add to him. For example, I Am Legend. Some of the best scenes is that guy and his dog. Do that with Falcon, except it's a bird.
I'm just imagining how Disney would do it, and I'm just imagining a talking Falcon like, you have to tell them to do better, Sam.
Oh my God, he would talk. They wouldn't just assume that it's an animal and do it like Chewbacca, where he might squawk and then Falcon would speak for him. They would have the bird be like, Sam, you need to go to camp today. Oh, Jesus, yeah.
Well,
I used to want them to make movies.
Oh, thank you, Germ. But then what would you guys do? Okay, let's say if you were to animate I Am Legend. Now, what would you do with well, first of all, what would you do with the zombies in it, right? We're talking all those zombies that go all over the place.
I'd have them be misunderstood and make them a stand-in for white men.
I'd make them less cartoony. It seems really weird that they're very cartoony when they're just zombies. Like it seems like Will Smith just hates real actors. Even in his Western, he's fighting CGI robots.
That's a remake of a remake. See the second remake. See Omega Man. It's the same movie, but it's a little better.
Right? Oh yeah, like Wild West. It's like Wild West, and then
Omega Man.
Jonah Hex. Those are two movies that are really bad because they didn't want to make westerns that are westerns.
I agree.
I think they also the weird ghost powers they gave Jonah Hex. I think he was just a tough guy in the comics. I don't remember him being able to talk to the dead.
Yeah, they spiced in some crow things. And then mid-film,
with his powers,
mid-film they had a cartoon sequence because I guess they're like, well, it's not a popular comic. We need something to show people that this is a comic book thing, so that it's a part of this big comic wave. So let's put this cartoon in the film that's out of place.
Germ, what were you saying? Like that whole stuff where he could talk to the dead. That's just for the movie, right? And they have to tell him the truth or whatever.
His powers vary widely from appearance to appearance. I don't believe he ever had his own run. He's usually a secondary character who will pop into other people's lines.
I think he's a quarterly kind of guy. I had a couple of Jonah Hexes. He might not have had the only. He might have split the comic with another comic book hero though.
I think he's in that like 60s, 50s bracket where like there were cowboy comics way back in the day. Like Kid Rawhide and stuff, and then they kept brought because I didn't know who he was till he appeared on Batman the Animated Series, and at that time, I was younger, and I thought, why is Two-Face dressed as a cowboy?
Yeah, I've never seen anything that is just Jonah Hex, but I never really dug deep to try to find it either. So,
and
he might have been sharing the comic with someone else, but I do kind of remember a Jonah Hex comic.
Well, I remember the comic, but I didn't know. Yeah, but there was never an animated film, right? They never did an animated Jonah Hex.
He's appeared a lot of things. I think one point they sent him into the future and had him fighting lasers and space aliens. He's kind of like Nick Fury. Like Nick Fury gets sent to all these random adventures, though his core comic is just he's an army guy.
Yeah, I think he's kind of just like not going to inspire too many people, and I don't think anyone cares about him coming back as Mace Windu.
Right. The other thing, something bugs me too is I didn't see the second Black Panther mostly because it looked like a huge toy commercial and they killed off the main hero. But I was upset just looking at some of their designs because the Tuma had like an eating chicken on his head, and then Namor was like a pudgy guy in biker shorts, and I'm a straight guy, but listen, Namor needs to wear a Speedo because that's what he does. He wears a Speedo and beats you up like he's not in his underwear. That's Namor.
That movie was fucked up. They killed like 200 people, and then later on in the movie, you find out they're U.S. Army and CIA people, and you're like, whoa. That's what your disposable people do. That's your Blackwater Merc goons to kill American soldiers. That's messed up. This is pretty dark.
I did watch the final fight
real
scene.
Dark.
I watched that final fight scene, and yeah, your hero looks so little next to him. To have her beat up Namor, it's like he's done. Like you don't even put him in another film now, because I mean, if he got beat up by that, I don't want to see him meet Hulk or Thor. It's just I just start crying for him. I'd be like, get my tissues out and be like, oh, Namor's about to get hurt bad.
Well, T, don't forget they did the same thing to Spawn, the guy that was the soldier before he Spawn.
Oh, Spaz the dog.
That Spawn movie was so illegitimate and so not so good, even though the people who made it were the people who made Spawn, like it was them, but problems.
Yeah, well, they nerfed
but
him.
I like Martin Sheen in it, though.
Yeah, they rushed it to make it kid-friendly. Suddenly he's got, which is really weird.
They were trying to get the rating cut down.
Because Spawn was graphic in the comics, and then he had a graphic HBO show. So you would think because one's graphic, this is graphic, that the movie also would be graphic. But then, he's got like a dog, and then he didn't want to pay Liefeld for Chapel, so there's like a weird lady. Yeah, it's bad.
We have out of nowhere, very strangely, we have Merlin from Excalibur back.
Which, and actually, if they remake Spawn, Tom McFarlane can't use half the characters that most people know. He can't use Angela. He can't use Cogliosto. That's the Merlin you're talking about. I think he can't use Anti-Spawn. Like, he lost the rights to Neil Gaiman. So most of the core things that you know of Spawn, or most people would, he can't even put in a film.
I think he's also kind of broke now, so he'll probably be
Yeah,
looking to make
but-
a Spawn movie.
He's very broke.
I'll
I
be
saw something
honest.
about that.
I'll be
That's
honest.
true.
I
He's very
like.
broke. It's too bad.
I was gonna say, what I liked about Spawn, like I said, besides Martin Sheen's performance, I mean, come on, John Leguizamo playing Belforgia, the big clown. I was like, holy shit, you did a great job.
Oh, yeah, he did. That's probably the only good thing that man's done.
Wait, Malbogia is the big devil-like entity. The clown had a different name.
Oh, that's Violator.
I know what you mean, though. He's really good in that.
Well,
But
whatever.
I don't.
You
I
think
may
Sam and
not have
Twitch
got that
would appear
right.
in there?
You know, there's a few good performances in the movie, but the movie's just not great. Like when the
Oh,
toy
dude,
beats
oh.
up the other, when the toy throws the other toy through the toy
Yes, he
wall
was.
and have the fight in the alleyway. That was pretty bad.
I forgot his name. The guy who played Spawn. He's Black Dynamite, and he did a western that's also funny.
Okay, I had forgotten the name of the clown. Sorry, Teague. Okay, I was in it. Now he was good in this last terrorist action. David Harbour,
Yeah.
Violent Night. He was good in that. I liked him.
I just chuckled because I'm pretty sure John Leguizamo is already writing his narrative on the new Spawn suck
Leguizamo
because
does
he's not
great
in it.
jobs in films. He really does.
Oh yeah, I've seen some pictures of John Leguizamo
Yeah.
in the modern era, and it looks like he's been sampling some of his relatives' product.
He's a little weird and a little woke, but he can still act.
Very
He can
woke.
still act. Yes, he can. Yes.
He's now
That
very
dude
woke.
was going on a tirade about not being the cartoon Luigi, and it's just like out of all the things you want to argue about.
I gotta
He's
be honest.
rather desperate for work.
I gotta be honest. I dig not dealing with him.
Which I
Like, I
liked
dig
the old
not
Mario
dealing with
movie. The old Mario movie is great. I mean, there's some things even as a kid I was like, I didn't like what they did to my boy Toad, but it was still a fun film.
They kind of messed up the X-Men first movie with Toad and Sabretooth.
Oh, yeah, well, I was talking Toad from Mario Brothers going on, John Leguizamo. But yeah, Toad and X-Men 1, you have heard this. X-Men 1 has some issues mostly because it was the first of its real kind. You know? And then part 2 was good. My only problem, part 2 was really stellar, though I really wish Stryker ended up to be like Apocalypse or some secret bad than just some dude. And then X3 smells bad of contracts are over, so everyone you love is gone, and they're not even killed off very good. And then by the end of the movie, it's a bunch of new people in Wolverine.
Yeah. Now no, I was going to say, do I recall correctly? But it was Ray Park, right, that played Toad in the X-Men, but it was also
Yes, Ray Park,
Maul.
a.k.a. Darth Maul.
Right, I was right. Okay. Yeah, he's a he's a stuntman too, not just an actor, but a stuntman. I do recall that, and I also remember that he did a lot of his own stunts. So I wouldn't mind him being Toad and Darth Maul, playing those roles.
Right.
He's
Well, I
good
think they
at
tried
it.
to spice Toad up because they wanted the bad guys to look eviler. And if you look at the comics, Toad's really just kind of a chubby dude. In fact, I don't even think he has that tongue power. I mean, he might after the film came out, they started giving him all black leather. And if you read the comics, you're like, I don't want this black leather. Give me the goofy suits.
He wouldn't have looked right then, though. I mean, he had to be kind of thin and spry. He wouldn't have looked
much
right
better
anyway.
representation is the Toad and X-Men Evolution.
Yes.
Oh, X-Men
Definitely.
Evolution is such a weird cartoon, especially off the heels of the 90s X-Men. You're like, what are you doing? I guess Batman did the same thing where it downgraded from the animated series to the Batman.
Yeah.
Which, the Batman, I bought a season of the Batman because it was like $15. And if you understand it as like a Saturday morning cartoon fun Batman, it's not bad at all, really. I mean, you get used to it. I mean, Riddler as Manson is a little stupid. ICP Joker was a little dumb, but you take these things and you're like, you know what? It's a different take.
Yeah, they had to downgrade it more for what kids WB was wanting at the time.
That's like other movies that you gotta take it with a grain of salt or think about it differently. It's like a lot of people always hate on Rob Zombie's Halloween. Now, as a Halloween movie, it's bad, but if it was a Friday the 13th movie, he nailed it. That's a mama's boy. That would be perfect. Perfect if he had a hockey mask instead of the Myers mask. Jason's the mommy's boy. Myers is a cold, calculated machine that just removes people.
Yeah, I never was much for horror movies or that lot.
Well, I heard a really bad rumor, and I hope it's a bad rumor, but I recently heard that they're going to redo Sherlock Holmes. Suzanne was telling me about this, and they're going to make him a black man, Sherlock Holmes.
Well, yeah, that's not as like a poor thing, because that's in public domain. There's already a few Sherlocks.
Disney legend Glynis Johns passed away today at age 100. We may remember her as Winifred Banks from Academy Award-winning movie Mary Poppins.
Oh, jeez.
Wow, she sure hung in there.
100 years old.
Yeah,
I think
it's like she sold her soul to the devil to be in Mary Poppins, and she was like, "No, you're not collecting." She was also in South Riding in 1938. Oh wow, she won 25 gold medals for dance in England, and by 13 appeared in her first film. Her first adult role came in Michael Powell and Emmerich Pressburger's 49th Parallel, released in America as The Invaders, starring Olivier and Raymond Massey. By 19, she became the youngest actress to play a lead role in the theatrical version of Peter Pan.
Right.
And she starts with Disney in the early 50s. She was cute when she was pretty cute when she was young, although I'm looking at this picture and I'm thinking it's from 60 years ago, and I have to remember she's like 49 in this picture.
Well, hey man, 80's the new 20. Martha Stewart had a swimsuit issue. Both our new candidate choices are going to be two 80-year-olds. So 80 is the new 20, man.
I hope so.
Like when I think 80-year-old, I don't think please don't fall in the kitchen and die. I think rule us. Make the choices for the rest of us that will be here longer than you.
Well, it helps with the kind of like Biden and Pelosi and Turtle Man that they bathe in the blood of the innocents they slaughter.
Right. Oh man, I am looking forward to Deadpool 3 though. Things that I actually genuinely like, because Deadpool's so quirky that there could be things I don't like in it, but because he's that abstract, I can accept a lot of it. Plus, that's the best version of Colossus ever. Like when I saw that Colossus, I love him. I'm like, he's perfect. He's just as Russian as Colossus should be. He's the right size.
Yeah, much better than the one that they did the live action X-Men movies.
Yeah, see, with that Colossus, I wouldn't mind Hugh Jackman as much because, like, when they did the fastball special, because they're the same height, it just looks stupid. But the big one, that one will look right. He'll have him as a fastball, and it would be like me swinging my nephew around,
Now, for Deadpool 3, did they say that they're going to keep the R rating, or are they actually going to go PG-13?
We will see.
I've heard it's going to be J.
They claim it's going to be R, but this is going to be the first time that they did an R movie. So, this is like the Marvels, right? I didn't see Marvels, none of us did. But the Marvels, that post-credit scene leading into the X-Men should have been a porthole opens. Rogue, Mystique, and maybe some muscle, probably the Blob. They come out, they meet Miss Marvel. They look like they're going to fight. Then Rogue takes her gloves off, and they go to shake hands, and like, oh, we're the Brotherhood of Mutants. I'm Miss Marvel. Boom, screen goes black. That's a cliffhanger. and it would lead into Deadpool. Perfect. And they're doing X-Men 97. Why wouldn't you do that? Instead, the post-credit is Beast in a Z-list character, and you can't compare it to Thanos. Okay, Thanos was in video games and the main villain to a giant arc that everyone knows. Binary is some weird lady that must have gave nice hugs to the producer for a cameo. That's what I'll call it. So she was hugging on the producers, and they're like, we'll put you in the post-credit. Thanks for that wonderful hug.
Yeah, I don't even recognize the name.
Yeah, that's that weird lady. Like, because I only know this because I YouTube the post credit. Because who sits in the theaters these days? I mean, I like Kelsey Grammer nailed it. I mean, he's got the perfect voice, and like, yeah, he's Beast. He's definitely a good Beast.
Well, as I said before, Suzanne and I just saw Aquaman in the Lost Kingdom, and they have one post-credit sequence where Patrick Wilson, who plays like the half brother of Aquaman of Art, is sitting at a table and he's going to eat a sandwich, and all of a sudden he sees a cockroach run across the table and puts it in the damn sandwich.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. I'm curious if they're ever going to release things before.
Back to earlier in the movie,
because I heard in the film before
to eat the cockroach.
Well, he did eat a cockroach, but I thought it was just disgusting. He puts it in a freaking sandwich. I mean, a full.
Well,
sandwich.
he is a fish creature. I mean, when you think about it, crabs are just bugs. People eat crab or shrimp. Those are bugs of the ocean.
I'm sorry, it just made me sick. I'm sorry. I just had to mention it.
I was listening to Rumor Mill, and I think it was who's that lesbian the behind the trailers lady. She's like, I heard that the baby dies. And my thoughts on this, when I heard the baby died, I was like, Aquaman 2 could be awesome if he loses his hand and the baby dies, because he already has the 90s look. So I was like, and it's part 2, and if they didn't plan to just end it, it would make sense to have him lose and plus it would give him an excuse to kill off Amber Heard too, to end it on a dark note. That would have been a good film.
It's better than average DC film, but I'd say probably a C+ B- level.
Right. Well, he's Aquaman. Like people are like, it's doing. Listen, no one went to Aquaman as a fan. If anything, the first Aquaman, we were just all surprised that they made an Aquaman film. I mean, he's been the butt of the joke for like 30 years. So the fact they made a film, people were like, I'm going to see this. I'm just curious why they would make such a dumb thing. And the sequel, obviously, it did.
Momoa.
Right?
And it's only draw for
it. I'm sure he'll take his shirt off a few times. I mean, I'd gladly spoon with him.
Right. That's another weird thing. Like, if see, we all know this. So Jason Momoa sells movies to the ladies, and that's fine. Why in the heck did the Marvels not put some beef in there for the ladies? Like for example, if there's a film for dudes and it had nothing but dudes with a giant mannish lady as the only lady, no dude's gonna want to watch that. That'd be like me being like, hey dudes, we're going to a pub and it's a giant sausage fest and there's not a single lady. No one's gonna want to go to that, let alone in a film. In fact, some of us have bad teeth and we're ugly, so it's nice to vicariously live through a hero that's doing awesome.
Yeah. And look at the movie.
The best way I could put it is it doesn't make any sense.
Right? Like, yeah, because even the villain, this is like the Logan movies where even the main villain isn't that interesting. So it's like the movie's not as memorable. This like the other day, I think it was a Germs channel or maybe it was APNs. They were watching Logan, and Logan, I guess, is a good what-if story, but when you watch it in the continuity of the films, you're just like, wait, he shanked the lady he loves and wanted to love. He just stabbed her, but he's keeping this human bomb alive that's wetting himself? Like, why? Where's this going? You're just going to watch him die eventually, so just stab him. I mean, he ain't going to have kids, and he's just a terror.
The best thing you can do is bring Patrick Stewart to like the middle of Death Valley and wait for him to die because he's well on his way. And we find out that, when he has these little strokes, like bad things can happen, especially to mutants. Although it's kind of inferred that the stroke happened inside Cerebro, and that's why it fucked people up. Or it happened during an attack by the Brotherhood of Mutants, because they're just not even in that.
See, and that's another thing, because it's like a road trip movie, but they're not driving anywhere good or fun. You know what I mean? It's a movie where you're like, eh. And then when it leads up to him fighting himself, I'm not saying it was a bad fight, but I'm just saying I already saw him fight himself in X-Men 1. This is not a new fight. This isn't a major villain character. And a lot of times when you have a hero fight a hero, it just looks like the budget was cheap. Like they were like, he costs $1 million. I don't know, we can pay another person to fight him. Let's just have him fight himself.
So
creeping up. We had the better, smarter, female, younger Wolverine. So it was getting there.
Yeah, so I was going to say that. Yeah, what I was going to say was that in the Deadpool 3 information we've seen so far or read so far, we know that we know that Jackman's in it, but are we saying that Deadpool's going to come across him in a multiverse version of himself? Before
they're definitely doing multiverse. That's too much explaining. So they're going
to weird. No,
because it looks like what they're plotting out. It looks like what they're plotting out is the X-Men he runs into are going to be the 90s X-Men. That's why, if you notice, Professor X has the yellow chair, Wolverine has his yellow thing. The post-credit in the Marvels, Beast is looking more like comic book Beasts or cartoon Beasts.
Okay.
So yeah, they're definitely, and they're producing X-Men 97, so it makes sense to kind of push them that way. Because I think they're doing some TVA stuff, and this is another thing I hate. This is why I'm like, no, I don't want, these Disney Plus shows aren't any good. And it ain't me just be a hater, but it's like this. Echo can be great, but why would you make Echo if you have Daredevil in it? And Daredevil's been in shows. He's been in the Trial of the Incredible Hulk. He's been in the Spider-Man cartoon. He's been in video games. Why would you not make the guy who's been selling books for the last 50 years first? Instead, you're making Echo, who reads that, Miss Marvel, who already got killed already. Usually they wait a few years till they kill a hero to sell books. And her powers suck so bad, they changed them for the show. That's when you know you shouldn't make the show, when you're like, this character sucks. Well, let's change their powers to Quasar's powers. Isn't Quasar a guy who sucks, who's never sold a book? Shh! She gets the quantum bands.
Now, okay. Now, I'm going to pose this question to you guys. We were just talking about Glynis Johns and old people that could still do roles in films and stuff up until the very end.
It's elderly people playing film.
But I mean, who is really looking forward to that? I mean,
we got about 3 of those awards.
Yeah, you cut out on my end too. I just heard old actors and then woo 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 woo.
You're saying something positive about old people, so I think the Canadian government is trying to censor you.
I just, I don't know. Oh, sorry.
See what socialism does to internet connections, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey, a lot of good things come out of Canada. You have Norm Macdonald, Phil Hartman, Jim Carrey.
Yeah, but then you got the
opposite. And the funny ones out of those are all dead.
Yeah. I was going to say Bret Hart and Owen Hart, and that guy's dead. Chris Jericho's a Canadian.
But then we got the opposite problem. Then we get Justin Bieber also came out of Canada.
Well, it's like dating a hot girl. You get to enjoy that body, and then her mouth opens up. Sometimes you got to take the good with the bad. Who knew duct tape was that chewable?
I'd just say, William Shatner's Canadian, so that makes up for it.
Yeah, see, I was saying this with you, Teak. I was thinking, I was like, what they should do, because I know Fraser's still acting, speaking of older actors, because he's got a reboot. I'm saying, while Shatner's still alive, and since Harrison Ford can act, and he's like 90, make a story where you have a clone Kirk, right? Just this time, before he dies, we get an evil Kirk. He'll be the bad guy, and I don't know what Sulu's doing these days, but I would center around Fraser since he's in the same universe and try to hire all the actors in that. Like a one last moment of that.
I'd try. William Shatner would be a very good guest star for Fraser.
Oh yeah, he would be. That'd be fun too.
Could probably be a regular on Fraser, to be honest.
Right, that's kind of like the thing I don't get is the Night Court reboot, because it's like like even in the advertisements, they're like, I think they're doing a big like it's two Johns, and both these shows aren't good. But I was like, what?
It's
If you're
not- it's
advertising
not-
John Larroquette, you should just
Night
reboot his show.
The Night Court show isn't a reboot.
Yeah, it's what's called a soft reboot, where it's like
Well,
kind of,
they acknowledge the other show. It's a sequel, so I'll give them a little more credit.
right. Yeah. Oh man, it's
Doesn't
sad.
make it
Bull's
any
dead.
better.
Because Bull, that's the voice of Two-Face from the animated series, Batman.
Right. Well, okay.
Richard Bell.
So the question I had for you guys before was, what do you think about Harrison Ford doing the next Captain America movie, the Brand New World thing?
Too
He
old.
fucking sucks now. He fucking sucks. He was good in 1923, and that was an aberrational performance. He's only good in stuff he cares about. One thing he cares about is showing up without trying to make money. He's going to do it again.
Well, you know, my problem here is, other than it's a Cap sidekick movie named Thunderbolts that has nothing to do with the Thunderbolts, but the Hulk sucks so bad that all his villains are slated to fight Cap people. Like Captain America 4, I heard he fights the leader. Thunderbolts, they fight the Red Hulk. And the Hulk just sucks so bad, he's just not in any of this. As far as Harrison Ford goes, I'd accept him in a Naked Gun movie because he's usually a serious actor. Leslie Nielsen was a serious actor, and I feel like he would do, because I've seen his interviews. He's a funny dude. I feel like if he was in a Naked Gun movie, I could probably watch that and crack up.
I hate that J.J. Abrams gets money
think
when
he'll
they
care a
make
little
that.
more.
I think
Wait,
Seth
maybe-
MacFarlane has. J.J. Abrams' father was one of the creators, but Seth MacFarlane owns it, so it'll probably be good. He'll probably make a good Naked Gun. Get that shit away
Yeah,
from J.J.
Because I think they were talking about Liam Neeson, and I was like, Liam Neeson, he's too Irish, but I was like, I think Harrison Ford has the white hair and sort of this. I think he could deadpan stuff really good because I don't think he's very good at being whimsical.
But
Yeah,
I think
Seth-
sheer age is the problem there. He's like 83.
Right?
Yeah, Seth may pull it off. I'm telling you, this can pull off a Naked Gun. Then, by gosh darn it, let Quentin Tarantino do a Star Trek film. Give him an opportunity.
You know, I actually watched a thing about his version of what he wanted to do with Trek, because at first I thought, Tarantino
Better
and Star
idea.
Trek, oh god. And
It was a
where he
better
wanted
idea.
to go sounded pretty good, because he was doing the Mobster remake, and that's in his wheelhouse.
They're going to
Yeah.
do it anyway. They're going to do it. My opinion is the pitch that he wrote up when he was thinking about doing it will be made by them, because I got to talk to Tom Connors about it on Midnight's Edge fan thing. And I just asked him, like, what's up with Star Trek? And he was just like, nah.
Oh man.
He's,
You know what?
he was
That's like
just
you know what that is? That's like a Babylon 5 Deep Space Nine thing, where the guy making Babylon 5 was selling this idea all over the place, you know, because he wanted to get it started. And these people told him no. And then when he finally found someone to make his idea, they were like, hey, let's do Deep Space Nine. It's going to be a space station with a number that's coincidence to what this guy just told us.
I think. Wait, the story I heard was Star Trek asked people to pitch them a space station show, and he had one of the ideas.
Oh yeah, he's a
It
comic book
depends on who
writer.
you
I
ask.
think our ideas die.
The Star Trek people say they were asking for ideas. What's his name said he went there to pitch Babylon 5 directly.
I'm glad we got both.
Oh yeah. Especially now that Star Trek is wanting to be Star Wars, it'd be nice to have a new brand.
All
Star
I'm
Trek's
saying,
considerably more messed up
Yeah.
than that.
all
Oh man, I was gonna
saying
animate
is
this.
if Tarantino does a Trek film, I'm gonna go see it.
He said no. They were trying to get it. I had long thought that it was them who stopped him from doing it because they didn't want to raise the bar. They didn't want people to see a good Star Trek movie. But Tom Connors told me it's them who he looked at the flaming wreck they had made and said, "Oh, fuck this. I'm not compromising my legacy by making one of my last movies one of your pieces of shit. I can't clean up your mess and I see how you're going forward, you'll make me look bad. And that they begged him. So that's a new one to me, but the sourcing's pretty good.
I mean, Teague, you might blow up at this idea, but I'm just saying, well, I would say if they're doing a Star Trek film, they should just recast, because it's about, in our time, it's about that time where they recast the TNG gang. And then I'd get the guy from X-Men First Class, or McAvoy. McAvoy would be my Picard. I don't know who else would be in that group.
That'd be fun.
You know, kind of like, actually, the Borg when I was a kid were scary as hell until they gave them a queen. Once they had a queen, you know, they had a face you could talk to, and then suddenly the Borg wanted humans and came off and having feelings.
Yeah, they were ready to negotiate, and then they also were subject to head vampire trope. If you killed the Borg queen, they all just died.
Yeah, because when they first appeared, they were like, "We don't need to talk to you," and they would just kind of appear, and they were like just creepy as all hell. They were like space.
They were like space North Koreans.
Right. Oh, I don't know if I'm going to animate this because I got my animator back. I was going to do a Jason X versus TNG, where the Enterprise crashes on the Earth too after being chased by the Borg, and I was going to tie this to when they had the time travel thing, just to give it an excuse to put it in limbo. And the idea was Jason would kill all the Star Trek people, and then the Borg would come down chasing them, and then they'd try to assimilate Jason, who would take them over, and they would become the Morg, and they would be like, "We are Jason." And that's how I'd end it.
I like that idea. It's better than New Trek. It's a better Star Trek story than I've heard in a while.
Right? Yeah, because, well, it was weighing it out, because originally I was going to do Kirk and them and do it off the 70s cartoon of Star Trek, but then I found a clip I could draw it on my own, but I wanted a demo to kind of give stuff that, you know, if you're making a pop thing, you want something that visually is identified for the fans of that stuff. Yeah, my channel's not looking good. I'm working on it. It's a constant work in progress, like life.
Don't give up. You'll get it.
Right. Well, I'm stuck here, so I have to do something with my time, I suppose.
Right.
Right. Oh, actually, you know, I'm on camera now, but I have a puppet. I didn't like it. I was also going to demo doing an animated screen, so like when I'm not talking, I'd have two, like animated me talking and then me eating chips. But it'd be the melted copper things.
Little Platoon does that.
Right? Yeah. See, I'm learning this multimedia talking to strangers across the ether.
I like how the Little Platoon's avatar now takes a drag of its cigarette once in a while and a sip of its drink while it's listening.
Yeah, see, that's what I was thinking. You know, and I guess I like doing the video thing more, so you guys can see when I'm talking or not. Because sometimes when you're just circles, it's hard to not step on people's feet in the chat.
Yeah, it's gonna happen either way.
Right?
We're not all really in sync.
Right? Time delays. Yeah, I don't know what other movies are coming out other than Deadpool 3 that I'm actually excited for. Well, I guess that's because of the writers.
I think there's only 2 Marvel movies coming out this year, and one's Deadpool 3, and the other one I think is Sony.
Oh God, Madam Web!
A couple of Sony projects lined up.
Dude,
Madam Web is coming out, yeah. And
Madam Web, Venom, and Craven.
By the way, I'm going to make a prediction right now. I think that Timothée Chalamet will be the next Superman. I think that's what Hollywood wants to have us look at as Superman.
Yeah, Craven, what are they doing? That guy's a horrible person who kills little animals and runs around naked eating spiders and then leaves life after he puts Spider-Man in the grave. Who's like, hey, we should make this guy a hero for the children.
Oh, they got a way around that. The Craven in this movie is actually Craven Jr.
Oh, God. That's so bad. And that's another thing, too, because I've seen the trailer. I reference this. Now, watch. At the end of the movie is when he gets his lion vest. Like, the whole movie is just going to be that brown thing, and they're going to make a big deal about his suit for the very end of the film. And it's like, if you're going to do a Craven movie, you should have just released it in October, made it R, make it like Red Dragon, and then bring back Toby to sit in a casket most of the film and have it like kind of like a dark horror movie and just do Craven's Last Hunt. That's the only story that Craven would need a film for. The rest is just kind of like, why would I want to watch that? Plus, you got to think, where's this movie going? Like, it's going to build to what? A bunch of villains that are now kind of good guys beating up our hero Spider-Man? And Venom's up to his third movie. He doesn't have his chest logo yet. He looks like an off-brand dollar store version of himself, of all things. I mean, he doesn't have a lot of color on his suit. It's just a white.
If the less he looks like Venom, the less they have to pay. I think is part of it.
Oh,
they can't really bring in Spider-Man since they lent him out.
Because
he's taking too much damage every time anyway. Look at how.
Thank you, Germ. Thank you, Germ. I was gonna say, if
Canada does not like you for as far as internet goes, Mikey.
Hey.
Curse
if they make, you better make Cavill Bond. That's all they can. That's all. It's the only logic you can be. Yeah.
I'd accept Orlando Bloom.
You know what Madam Web is? Madam Web is like the Marvels, where the Marvels is a team of heroes that failed in print. Like there's 5 Captain Marvels, none of them held a book, and then someone thought, hey, let's take these failures and make a team out of them. And Madam Web's the same thing, where Spider-Woman has never held any ground anywhere, and they're like, let's take all these Spider-Women that never held books and always crashed, let's make a team out of them.
That's why she has Spider-Gwen elements.
Right? And on that film, I think their villain is some goofy Z-list bad guy, and he looks... And they give him a green suit, and he looks like the spoof hero from a hero film from the 2000s.
Wow.
What I want next from Robert Pattinson, if we have to endure another Matt Reeves Batman film, and hopefully we won't. But if we have to have one, I want Batman versus the Condiment King. Fucking big screen, 3 hours long. Really get into how he used to be a comedian. His love
you know what?
condiment.
This sounds like a joke, but listen, this is what I would do, kind of like the Flash film. The Flash film should have had a moment where like a villain just broke people out of jail, and then they just shove all these Z-listers in. For example, you know what I mean? Because like all Spider-Man's villains don't need a movie. For example, like the Shocker, like a lot of these guys are just bank robbers. For example, Thor. There's 4 Thor movies. The Wrecking Crew should have already been in the film. Like there should have been a James Bond intro scene where these guys are breaking in and maybe robbing a bank, and then Thor comes and beats them up for an opening. You know, like
they were reformed mostly by She-Hulk.
See, and you heard me rant about how they ruined the Hulk by making him give himself powers to be mad for achieving his goals. Like, why is MCU Hulk is a guy who tested on himself, now can't die. Why is he mad? He seemed to attain his power, can give his power to people. That guy should be the happiest man on earth. He's not a guy who built a nuclear bomb and a bunch of spies set it off on his face and he was burned and he's scorned for trying to blow people up and thus a rage monster like in the comics, the 60s cartoon, the 80s cartoon, and the 90s cartoon. He's the TV low-budget Hulk in big film version.
They're not allowed to have him be the star of his own thing because he's not owned by Disney.
Oh my God! And his son, they just throw this kid character in, and he looks like utter crap. Not only does he look like crap, but having him have a 20-year-old son, just hey, here's my son. Not only does he look like crap, then it makes him. It means he's also a deadbeat dad. Like, oh, I was never around during this conspiracy. Here he is. Here's my son I didn't raise.
That's the only time we have on Disney. Yeah, it's weird. He fired that writing crew, but then he didn't get rid of them. He let them finish what they were doing, and that's the last 2 episodes. They're just punking him hard, man, with the Kevin robot and Thor's Hulk's son. I think that was fucking payback for firing them, but at least they're gone.
See, and the Wrecking Crew should have been the Wrecking Crew and the Absorbing Man. These are Thor staples, okay? They should have been in any of the 4 or is it 4 or 3? Any of the Thor movies or in the Loki show. Like Loki just runs into himself. It's a show where, oh look, hi, it's more of me. Even the lady is a version of him. Like one of them could have Crusher Creel standing next to him with a wrecking ball just to stand there. Just get a bald wrestler. Get Ryback. Get Goldberg.
I loved Loki episode 2. It was just 1 hour long McDonald's commercial, and it was actually the most well filmed episode of the entire series.
Yeah, because I
But
like
it
to
was
call the Loki. I call the
but it was
Loki show
McDonald's.
Agent Tom. Agent Tom doesn't want to put his Loki suit on or do Loki stuff. He wants to be Tom Hiddleston in a wig, acting youthful.
He could actually be the bad guy again with where they left him, and they need a bad guy. I'd just say bring back the new bad. The old bad guy is the new bad guy. Let him be the bad guy.
Yeah, see what they
he's pretty
should
good at
do.
it.
If he's bouncing through time, he could have built the Wrecking Crew and the Absorbing Man, and in his show, they all think they're being good guys, and he'd be building his villain team, and then you'd have a team of villains for your big fight off. But why do that when you can have him just beat himself?
I think he's in a position where he can mix and match from
Much
different
cheaper.
timelines. What's up, Mikey? What's up?
He's trying. The internet's fighting him.
He's got to stop calling for the impeachment of Trudeau.
Shit.
Stop talking
what I was
bad
saying
about
was
the president of Canada.
If you're happy, yeah. Well, I was gonna say if you're saying the Timothy guy becomes Superman, I'm trying.
It's
Yeah,
a joke,
it's fighting
but
again.
I mean,
was trying to
think it's the
say
kind of super.
something. And got screwed over again by the internet. Ah, crap.
I have faith in you, Michael. Go, Mark!
Okay.
Got faith in you. I got faith in Canada.
That last one may be a little bit misplaced. They are currently ruled by a bastard Cuban.
Oh, is that
Hey,
Trudeau?
I'm Cuban. I'm a Cuban.
Yeah, but
I
are you a
haven't just-
bastard Cuban?
Technically, yes. Like as a person, no, but technically, I think I do fit the definition technically for bastard because I'm adopted. My parents were unmarried, so yes, I am in fact a Cuban bastard, and I just don't.
That's a more interesting story than one would think. Usually, if someone's adopting, they'd already have married and then chose that, than to not be married, adopt the kid, then get married.
Be that as it may, I ended up where I ended up, and I was shocked to find out last week I'm from the same town as Justin Trudeau, and my Cuban grandfather, him and Desi Arnaz and Castro are from the same town.
Oh,
So,
nice. Yeah, I know more about Canada. Think
possible relative, Justin Trudeau. I don't want to criticize him. I'm saying you're lucky enough to have a Cuban leader, and you're underutilizing him. You know, he could be doing great things.
Yeah, he could be dancing at the end of a rope for all of the treason he's done.
Not a lot of people like him now.
I know more about that guy because I was listening to some Jordan Peterson. And Jordan Peterson is a psychologist, and hearing some of the stuff that he has to fight seems so wacky and backwards, especially because they're fighting a guy whose career is the human mind, and you're like, why are they doing this to this poor guy?
People don't like to be told unpleasant truths. They want to have comforting lies.
You know, that's even like, I'm not like, you know, if you want to do what you want to do, I ain't one to judge you, but it's just, this is like those people with there's multi-genders. It's like, listen, you find me this third version of sex and make a baby, okay? That's just recreation. That's not the term you're using, which is fine. There's nothing wrong with recreation, but you can't rename things and expect people to accept that.
They're birthing persons.
Right?
They're birthing persons. And they create life.
By the way,
Yeah,
anybody who might come through later, hit that like and follow button for our pal Resolute Germ. He's only 8 away from 500.
Oh man!
Wow.
I'm charging my other phone, so sorry, anyone in the chat. I can't address you right now.
I must have gotten a few since I started to stream, so last time I checked, it was 10.
No, Gorilla. what were you gonna do when you reached 700? What was your plan of attack?
Oh God,
That would be Germ's turn to pick a song.
I'm still trying to find something worse than what you've already sung. It's quite hard.
I say you sing Italian Restaurant by Billy Joel, unaccompanied by music.
I don't even know that song there. I mean,
Oh,
because
you mean sing,
Brenda
sing
and
some of
Eddie
the
was still
Italian
going steady in the summer of '79. You know
oh,
that
that's
one.
that doesn't sound like it's too bad. Like Pop had me singing "It's Raining Men."
Oh God,
That's funny.
that is funny.
And when I reached 275, I sang "Barbie Girl."
That's cool. How about this time you sing YMCA by the Village People or In the Navy?
That could be 800 for you.
in the Navy, you can hug another man in the Navy.
But you
Did
do
you-
have to dress up as Zandian.
Yes.
Get that little
Oh,
girl
hey guys,
mask and headdress.
I'm almost up to 85 subs. You better look out. I'm taking over the world.
85.
Yeah, yeah, damn right, 85. Yeah, you better bow down to the greatness.
I'm 115. I'm
Same thing as
115, dude.
some of those subscribers are people I knew that died.
I'm 30 ahead of you right now.
I'm gonna go to the cancer ward and get people to
Not over.
subscribe to me before they die, just so I have eternal
Despite my
subs.
problems. Restream is awesome. Oh, for what it's worth.
Restream does work better for you for some reason.
You're terminally ill. Quick, subscribe to my channel. So once you die, I have a forever subscriber.
I know YouTube is deleting those accounts now.
Oh, are they?
Yeah.
Oh, it's sad. Sometimes it's nice. So, it's like Facebook. Sometimes, especially if you're older, once you get to like 40 and it's been around for like 15 years, people disappear. And sometimes it's nice to see them ghosts.
Well, YouTube has been here
15,
for what?
17.
17
like-
years.
Yeah.
And just now, they're deciding because it's like 2006.
I have an old channel,
Yeah.
and it's funny. My old channel actually has way more views than anything I've built in the modern era. But I forgot how to get into it.
Yeah. And now they're just deciding to get rid of.
Yeah, because with the monetization, people getting apparently to the mark too easily, so they're trying to find dead accounts and then making them really dead.
Right.
I did have a bot swarm. It was I went up 320 and then I lost like $1.75. But I mean, I'll still take the night where I put on 75 people. I mean, that was still like it seemed like a bad thing. It's like, oh my God, I have my 300 subs. I'm now monetized. I now I'm bigger than some of my critics. I can feel good about this. And then like a week later, like within days, they eroded away. And then the next time it happened, I'm like, I'm not acknowledging this. I'm not even going to acknowledge that it happened. And I'm like, I waited like a whole week and it endured. So I'm like, fuck it, it's real. And it's continued to endure. So I mean, it's real enough.
Yeah, I think on my end, I just need to find a rhythm and a focal point. Because right now I'm just because I do animations and cartoons and stuff, and so I just make whatever the hell I feel like on that day. So I don't have a consistency for people to follow.
Well, I've got two
Yeah,
channels.
the algorithm
And what's
does
my-
love consistency.
Yeah, I have two channels, and I've had two channels since 2008. And one of them has over 150 subscribers, but we're talking over a 15-year period. Whereas this current one that I've got with Dan is only 7 years old, and I have only like 115 subscribers. So I don't know what I'm doing different or wrong or what, but I don't know. Being monetized doesn't really interest me. It doesn't. I'm not sure why.
I'll tell you a secret. It's the audio. Hate to be the one to break it to you. When you robot away for 3 of every 5 minutes and then come back randomly, and it's just tangential, there's no way to know what was going. There's not enough threads to pick up. That might be
It
what you're
does
doing
hurt.
wrong. Like, you're not really there much.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, actually, I had some wackier
Well,
ideas.
I did. Yeah, well, I did a few restreams and they were okay. I didn't drop out as much in those. So there is
People won't tolerate
somewhat of an improvement.
Yeah.
All I know is what I saw Chris Gore say. He said that weird video will be ignored for the foreseeable future, but bad audio is just the people won't take it at all. They won't deal with it. They won't. That's his.
Oh man, yeah. Speaking of Chris Gore, there's a channel that just hates John Campia. Like I don't watch that guy for eons now. I think Nerd Crew just hammered down what a fool he is. But there's a channel that exclusively hates on this man, and it cracks me up.
Yeah, there's a channel like that for me too.
Is there, Teague? I'll find it. I'll fight for you. I'll make up a backstory. I'll be like, Teague's my uncle, man.
Just ignore that channel.
No, I'm gonna find it, Teague. I'm gonna talk about how me and you were good buddies. I was like, yeah, we met in grade school back in the day, and we were Boy Scouts. I'm gonna get some awesome backstory.
I would be so very disappointed if that happened.
I'll be like, Teague used to date some girls, and then when he was done with them, he's like, here's some leftover meat, melted copper. You can have it. I tested it. There's no bugs. If this is the garbage you want, but it's below me. And I was like, thank you for the meat, good sir. Oh, like Cable Guy. Oh, you didn't think you didn't think a girl like that would be with a guy like us. You got me a prostitute? It's okay, I tested it. Not a drip. You know, Cable Guy was going to be Chris Farley. I almost want to see that film.
It would have been better.
Yeah. Oh, especially a scene where he's all scary. And he busts through the door. If that was Chris Farley, that movie would probably be more of a horror film than a comedy.
Oh.
It is kind of a horror movie. It's a stalker tale.
Oh, that's kind of like What About Bob is another comedy, but when you think about it, it's a scary film about an insane man torturing a family and blowing up a house.
When Gorilla reaches 1,000 subscribers, we should send some ladies of the night over to his isolated house over there, and he can do a live street party from his house.
Mikey, you do know I got my kid most nights.
Oh, I'm sorry.
What,
yeah,
does he not
love his kid to see all those nice women walking through the door?
Yeah, then I have to deal with the fucking mother.
Well, he doesn't have to be there, you know.
Maybe one of the lesser pretty girls of the nights can babysit.
Hey, she wants him dead enough as it is. And don't pretend that she doesn't.
We're gonna fly a gorilla to Vegas so we can have fun like that without having to worry about watching anybody.
Have you guys been to Vegas? I've been to Vegas. It's a little disappointing. Every building looks cool, but it's all the same games, and there's always like a dozen like Latinos with these things, and they're these naked titty cards, and they flick them, and they're everywhere. There's nude cards just all over the ground, everywhere you go.
I've never been there.
Oh yeah, I mean I haven't been there since they put the big Mysterio head there, but I think I was there twice.
I'd like to see it like at least once, but yeah, I don't know if I need to totally see
Oh,
it.
dude, driving through the desert's crazy.
I've done that. I've driven through the desert. I've
Yeah,
driven through
because that's when you
deserts, so
hear
that was weird.
you hear Native American radio and you don't know what this is. Like, because like when you're driving, your radio runs out. Well, now it's XM, so I don't know if people do that anymore. But you'll change the radio and suddenly like oh yeah, and then it'll be like a hip hop song, and you're like, I think I found a station. And then the next song will be like the Doors, and you're like, what the hell station is this? And you're like, oh, it's the Natives. This is what they listen to, I guess.
I'm sorry, but
Format
Jake
not
free.
Gyllenhaal
actually.
didn't sell Mysterio for me. No, I didn't like Jake Gyllenhaal's in that Spider-Man movie.
Oh
I
yeah,
don't
well,
think
Quentin,
he
I thought it was nice to see Mysterio, and the fact that they tried in advertising to act like he was a good guy. I'm like, hey, at least they made the effort, even if we all knew.
Well, the effort failed. Gyllenhaal doesn't belong in films. Gyllenhaal belongs in comedies, not in films.
I thought you were about to say he belongs in the dirt. I was like, man, this guy doesn't like Jake at all.
No. I've seen him in comedies. I think
He's
he's
doing
okay
a
in comedies.
terrible. He's doing a terrible fucking job for the Jets this year. 4 snaps.
Right.
Wait, Jake Gyllenhaal, like, what comedies is he in? He's in Jughead. He's in not Night of Lepus. He's in Donnie Darko. He was in that. Wasn't he in a movie with Spider-Man where they're brothers and Spider-Man like murders someone? Oh, it was called Brothers, I think.
I'll put it another way. His sister Maggie could outact him in a
She's a
movie
weird
if they
looking
did
lady.
it together. If they did a movie together, Maggie would do 10 times better.
What is that?
Damn, I loved Maggie in The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight Returns. That was a great.
I gotta ask what there was to love in the 6.5 minutes she's in that movie.
I'm with Teague on this.
Well, I just think she should have been. I think her role should have been expanded a little bit more. Yeah, I agree. But
Wait. They brought her on because the person who played that role sucked so bad they had to kill the character. She was there to die. She was hired expressly to be killed.
To be killed in the movie. Okay.
Because they couldn't go forward with the actress they had. Mrs. Tom Cruise got divorced from Tom Cruise, and now everyone else finally admitted that she couldn't fucking act, and she can't. She was just hot, and she couldn't be trusted to get blown up. So they brought in Maggie Gyllenhaal, and they changed the story around just a little bit, not a whole lot, but like that was supposed to be something of a love interest for Christian Bale's Batman, and then whatever, they make movie 2 about building on his pain, and then in movie 3 he's kind of got a girlfriend in the form of Catwoman again. But
oh, dude, you know what? People, I like the first. I like,
and he has Al Gould, and he has Talia.
I like Batman again.
Like Maggie Gyllenhaal might be a good actress, and she might have done a good job, but she was in that movie for 7.5 minutes.
Right. Oh, I know she wasn't really very long. But Teague, let me ask you something about Catwoman's character, okay? Now, Hathaway does it in the third one. We know that. And Michelle Pfeiffer does it with Keaton in the second one. So, who'd you like better? And I'm not even throwing Halle Berry in there.
Obviously, Pfeiffer.
I absolutely scoff at the Catwoman from the Batman, which is an illegitimate Batman movie that kind of sucks. He loses most of his city. I reject that fucking Joker. There was a better actor to play the Riddler. We didn't have to put that fucking to play. The Riddler sucked. And there was a better way to do Penguin. I know the guy's a really good actor, but someone just looks like that. Let that person play the role, and then maybe we would have had a TV show they promised us. Michelle Pfeiffer all day long.
All right, this is what I was thinking with my thoughts on the Nolan Batman. Batman Begins is an awesome, slow burn, great film. The Dark Knight takes right off the heels of it, and then the third one, they just puff a bunch of paint and go in some directions that is totally contradicting to what the first movie set up. Suddenly, Batman's in the daylight; he's running around saying hi to people. It's just like somewhere
we're both agreed on that. Then
they just drop the ball. And Catwoman doesn't even. Not only does she not even have a cat, or a whip. It's like they didn't want to put her in the film, but they were like, well, these demographics say she has to be here. And even Bane sounds like Sean Connery with like a T-Pain voice. He suffers from, this is a Batman villain thing that people suffer from, where they get turned into the Joker.
So you're, okay, so yeah, I would agree with Michelle Pfeiffer in that one. Yeah.
Yeah, she has a more substantial role, and she's beautiful.
I love the Flash.
Zoe Kravitz is cute, but she's not beautiful the way Michelle Pfeiffer was in that point in time.
See, I like the Flash, but my problem with the Flash film is they didn't want to make a Flash film. None of the villains, the Reverse Flash doesn't even show up. They don't even give all right, so I get it. You don't want to put Grant Gustin in a film because he's the better Flash in a lesser Flash film. Right. But come on, 90s Flash is both the dad's the best Flash.
Got to use a whip and not a gun. I mean, come on. Anne Hathaway's using a gun. I thought Catwoman was a little more.
She was the worst Catwoman ever.
And they didn't want to give her cat ears, but she's standing next to a guy in a bat costume. There was a clown and there's a guy in a bat suit, but now you think her in a cat suit would be weird next to a clown and a bat guy. Okay. This is like, in the Fantastic Four film, they didn't want to put Galactus in because they're like a skirt-eating planet eater, stupid and goofy. But when one of your main heroes has the most cartoony power of a rubber, how is it, and a naked surfer is one of your rogues, when do you cut it off at the skirt-eating planet eater? Like, oh man, this skirt-eating plant eater is a little too goofy next to our rubber man and the naked surfer.
Yeah, you know what? At this point, I would take Gorilla as superhero and put him in a film.
See, this is what I was thinking too.
Well, you already got that. You got Kong and Godzilla. They're superheroes now.
Oh yeah, I don't mind it. Legendary kid route.
Did anyone else laugh when they fought on the aircraft carrier? Did anyone else just laugh?
You know what? You gotta look at Legendary.
That is when I turned it off the first time too. I was like, "This is fucking stupid. This is so fucking stupid."
See, I didn't mind it because Godzilla has a long history where you have evil Godzilla and seriousness and kid cartoon stuff, and it's nice that Toho went the adult route. Like they're like, well, if Legendary's doing the 70s goofy kid cartoon one, we'll do the grittier back to the nuclear bomb version of him. So it's good that we get both.
That movie's a good movie with or without Godzilla. That movie's just good. That's just a really good movie.
Yeah, and I think a lot of movies would be better if they did them in time periods. For example, a 60s version of Fantastic Four would be great. And speaking of Fantastic Four, if Marvel's doing the multiverse, right, instead of just having people appear for a cameo, if Andor, who dies on a beach, which the show's going nowhere, so why make the show? Why not take the 2000s Fantastic Four roster, if you can bring Chris Evans back, he can't find a job since Captain America anyways, and have him be Johnny Storm and do a mini-series. And it doesn't even need to be this expensive. See, earthquakes are taking out New York City. They go into the ground to fight the Mole Man. It ends with them fighting a kaiju. That's a good. Take my money, Disney Plus. Make that mini series. Oh man, if I could I would cast Danny. Well, Danny DeVito's up there in age, so I don't know who would be the Mole Man.
Yeah, but would you bring? But would you bring Alba back as the Invisible Woman?
Yes, I'd bring all of them. All of them back.
The one person I don't want to be invisible.
Right? But I bring them all back. And I mean, understanding budgets and stuff, I'd bring Chickless back. And in the story, I might even give him a little bracelet because we want to save money for that big climatic kaiju fight at the end of the film. So I'd even have him have a little wristband where he's like, I can look normal for a bit, but I have to wear this stupid ankle bracelet. So that can be kind of like a MacGuffin within it, his thing. And while we're doing this, since we're doing a multiverse miniseries, I would try to shove in other people from this multiverse era. So I'd have like Ben Grimm at like a diner. And then if Affleck wants to do a cameo, he can pop up as like a lawyer issue. or even Cage's Ghost Rider, I would try to shove in all these. Because what's the point of having these multiverse cameos if not to put them in their own show and then be able to breach out? For example, I thought it'd be funny, since Evans is also Captain America, they'd reference the Human Torch, like, why do you keep acting like you think you're Captain America? And then I'd get a new actor to be this version of Captain America, which I would say I'd want an older actor to go with the realm. So I'd have Kurt Russell appear as Captain America just because I think, one, he's an older actor. He missed the boat, but why not shove him in there? And he's doing TV shows anyways. He's in the Monarch show. And his son is the U.S. agent, and Disney loves family synergy. That's how the lady got to be the villain in the Marvels, is she was shagging Loki.
And Hera is Obi-Wan's wife.
Yeah, yes. See, they love that. Yeah. Anybody, if you get a Star, Disney has like a 2-for-1 contract. They're like, hey, you want me in Star Wars? Okay, you got to do a Marvel show too. And they're like, okay, it's a 2-for-1. Oh my God, yeah, Pedro Pascal. I'm not saying he's a bad actor. He's an ugly dude, and he doesn't look like Reed.
I don't think it's going to pan out.
Oh yeah, no, all the rumors just sound horrible. In fact, I guess if they want to like mess around with Galactus and spice him up more, though I feel Galactus is good in his prime with just Silver Surfer, they can always do the Heroes Reborn arc where they shoved all of the Heralds in just for fun. I don't know if you guys are comic readers. Back in the day, in the 90s, after Image had failed, Marvel brought those guys back to rewrite their characters, and it also failed, and then they got back to normal.
Yeah, I haven't read comics since probably 91, 92.
Yeah, it's been a long time myself.
I want them to do a good Dark Side.
Spider-Man clone.
Yeah,
arc
I want them to do a good Dark Side.
I think when the Spider-Man clone arc was revealed, I was like, "Fuck this."
Yeah, that's actually there's a toy channel. It's called Displaying Model Behavior. He's a toy channel, and he's a huge Ben Reilly clone saga guy. Except he likes Ben Reilly. Sometimes I feel like that's just a gimmick, but I'm like, are you serious, dude?
The idea isn't the worst idea. It's just that like the way they did it, and it's, I don't know, dark, unhappy Pete Parker. It's just too un-Spider-Man. Like Spider-Man has some optimism and shit.
Well, oh my God, Spider-Man has some weird comic. Well, you know what? The writers they don't want Spider-Man to grow up. I think now he's getting a wife and kids and stuff. But see, it's kind of like you got classic love arcs, okay? And that's Superman, Lois Lane, Spider-Man, Mary Jane, Mickey Mouse and Minnie. And what happened was they were like, oh, we can't, his best story, this is getting fans who aren't fans to write, and they want to go back to where he was as a teenager. And even my brother, who's a bigger Spider-Man guy than me, this is why people were glad to not see him go backwards in time, because, you get tired of seeing him in high school again. You're like, he's back in high school again. Get the hell out of high school. James Bond doesn't keep going back to the academy at every reboot.
He just gets replaced.
I'm wondering about that. They do it to Connery. They do it to him twice, but one of them's not part of the Bond continuity of normal films. Never Say Never.
Oh, that's the one where they got the rights to the book?
Right. They got the rights.
Yeah.
The only one. Never Say.
Yeah, what Kevin McCrory did is he actually borrowed from Thunderball and decided that he was going to make his own version of Thunderball, but apply it to like what the early 80s was. And he floated the idea to Connery, and Connery said, oh yeah, that might be a decent reboot kind of thing. As long as I'm not a part of Eon Productions, I could probably do it. And that was just one of the reasons they brought it back out,
Timothy Dalton doesn't get enough props. He's the bad guy in the Rocketeer.
I agree. He's great.
Oh, and here's another thing too, because hopefully, I don't mean to steer the conversation. Take it where you guys want it. But if they're doing a black James Bond, and that's in the modern either, my thoughts on this is based on a Casino Royale. I feel like they should have gave Felix Leiter a solo film because he's a black spy. He's an American. It's in continuity with what fans already like. It's not spicing.
The attempt to do that was the one with Pierce Brosnan and then Halle Berry, and it's just,
Oh
they
yeah,
couldn't get-
that was yeah.
they-
Well, that's
they
when it got.
they couldn't get backers for the movie.
But yeah, if you gave Phil, in fact, actually, the actor playing Felix Leiter ended up moving on to Commissioner Gordon. He was in Westworld.
Brosnan,
Yeah, you gave him. Because see, here's the thing: like you don't have to anger people to expand your franchise.
Well, Felix not black, but it doesn't matter in the meta of the movies. He can be black, but Felix Leiter is a white guy in the books. Not that, and no one really cares.
Yeah. He's one of those things where his race isn't a big thing. Like Magneto, his race is. Him being a Jew is sort of a detriment to what he's doing. But like Felix, I feel like is in that ether where you can shift it.
Yeah.
But then again, also with Magneto, because I realize we're all getting older, so we can't keep dabbling into World War II. So if they made some people would jump, like obviously Nerdrotic would be like, oh God, Magneto's black. If they made him like a 70s black guy and retconned it to kind of match the old thing, I'd be okay with it. But I would think that Jack Kirby and Stan Lee both Jews.
You got it. It's happening. It's already happened. It's Gus from Breaking Bad. The guy from
oh God, that guy! Oh, it's the Disney Plus.
Barbara Broccoli is still holding to the idea that James Bond. There's three things that James Bond is always going to be. He's going to be male. He's going to be either of English or Scottish descent, and he is going to, be white. And that's it.
Well, some things are weird too. This is like Slave One, Boba Fett's ship.
Covered in the English or Scottish descent part.
Because like Slave One, it's like really the character hunts people down as a job. Is the name of his ship really an offensive thing for a guy whose occupation is to sometimes vaporize living entities? I mean, oh God, yeah. Why would you make a show about Boba Fett running a business and having a family? That's the last thing. And having a pet dinosaur, because why not make him your 7-year-old dream version?
That's actually the only good part of that show.
Oh yeah. Oh no, I like the dinosaur. I was a little kid at the time. I loved Rancors and big monsters and Godzilla. But listen, no one wants to see Boba Fett running a family and bonding with people. You want him to be a masked killer. That's his thing. He hunts people. He's a bounty hunter, okay? Like, I want Spider-Man to love people, I want Superman to love people, and I want Boba Fett to remove people, and Batman to be a distant, sort of caring person who generally prefers to beat people up.
Well, then what they need to do... Yeah, well, what they need to do then is take... what was it Will Smith was playing?
Canada does not like you.
Like he was Deathstroke or some shit.
Will Smith as
well, then they should
Bullseye. Not Bullseye.
Change the person.
The DC
Deadshot.
ripoff of Bullseye. Yeah,
Deadshot. They were chopping up, and it took me a bit.
Deadshot.
Suicide Squad's its own weird thing because you have a movie about a bunch of grimy villains, and then in the trailer you see the Joker, and you would think like, oh, that's the main bad guy, and he's not. I mean, and don't get me started, Jared Leto.
Aside, since there's been two good people on film as the Joker, aside Cesar Romero, it's Heath Ledger and Jack. Everyone else has been horrible, and Jared Leto is the worst person to ever play the Joker. It's not his fault. I don't blame Jared Leto. I believe he has the skills, but those roles were written so poorly.
Well, yeah, because check this out. This is like the Joker. The Joker tattooing damage on his head. One, the face tattoos is a trendy thing that some people are going to be stuck with and regret. But I don't see, because the Joker in every rendition, even if he's crazy, he loves his face. He sticks it on everything. I don't see the Joker putting damage on his own head. I see the Joker doing that to other people.
And he says the things he says in the Snyderverse are just really stupid.
Yeah, Zack Snyder shouldn't have. he shouldn't have touched those things. He did, because everything you watch about the Man of Steel, even people who like the Man of Steel, if you listen to every comment track he says, he basically overstates how much he hates Superman, didn't want to make Superman, and fought with the producers to try to make what he wanted, even though he clearly, the one thing he didn't want to make is a Superman film.
He really doesn't like to show Superman saving or helping people, which hurts the movie really badly.
Oh, who thinks of Superman and saving people in doing that? I mean, when I think Superman, I think a dad that kills himself for a dog after... Yeah, none of that movie makes sense. Because once you explain the Kryptonians have left their planet and took over planets, then it makes this group of Kryptonians not blowing up to nothingness. They basically sat and waited to die for pleasure because they've been the whole time.
Nothing about that movie.
They're all dead at that point.
Nothing about that movie makes a lot of sense.
Because if you look at the comic books, this is not even like the Christopher Reeves version, which is closer to the comics. Say the comic books, Superman finds a chest and he sees these guys locked into a dimension through a prison sentence, and characteristically makes sense. He's like, these guys have been locked up for a long time. Their sentence is over, and I found them. I should let them out. That's a story. This other one is just weird because it's like they gave missiles and things to a bunch of criminals that tried to take over the planet, and then the rest of them sat Indian style and was like, okay, I'm going to die now. And then Jor-El was like, oh, I'm going to die, but I'll save myself and let my wife die because screw that bitch. Oh, I'm sorry. I've been watching my lingo.
Now, at that point, there was no colonies. Active colonies when Krypton died.
When Zod goes and finds him, and he's only in the Phantom Zone for, what is it? It's 30 years he's in the Phantom Zone for 20 years, and then he's out for 10 because we see his beard's a little bit more gray. He's aged like 10 more years. So he was frozen in time when he was there. And then he says he's been to all the colonies. And then Zack Snyder himself says, so we can figure out on our own that's where he got all this tech.
Oh my god, dude! Yeah, I never watched that film based on just Lex. The second I saw that Lex Luthor in the trailer, and he's like, "Hi!" Yeah, he looks like me right now. Like,
that's the next one. That's BVS.
And jump into Doomsday. Yeah, and then they shove Wonder Woman in, and they jump to Doomsday, and they obviously shaved down the budget because they're in the comic books. He had a green suit and a huge story arc, and he had hair and stuff. And they're like, that costs too much. Can we make him like
that entire story into like 4 minutes?
Can we make him like an orc from like Lord of the Rings instead? And then, like I said, Lex, his motivations, because when Smallville Lex is a better Lex than your movie Lex, you got issues.
Yeah, we are going to have to wrap up at this point.
Yeah, I'm just glad you guys let me stick around. I didn't step on any toes or say anything too crazy.
No, you kept it under control for the most part.
Okay, thank you.
We'll go around and everyone can say what they got going on. Mikey, you want to go first while your internet holds out?
Yeah, okay. Remember on Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, we're doing the series, the A-Team, all 5 seasons. Every episode, we're doing 1 episode per week. Next Friday, not this coming Friday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, we're going to be starting our topic time. And hopefully with Restream, it seems to be doing a little bit better. So I like to, bring a few people on panel. I think I'm allowed up to 6 people. So, I hope you guys can come by on Friday night starting on January 12th. That'll be around 9 p.m. Eastern time. So it won't interfere with you and Gorilla's Walton's stream. So, or if it does, I'll start it right after you guys are done. So,
sounds good. Teague, what you got going on?
I'm your buddy Admiral Teague. You can catch me on my channel. I'm on Thursday. I'm sorry. I'm on a Sundays.
He's saving Star Trek, folks. This guy is saving fucking Star Trek. He's the apex of all communication.
I'm on Sundays at 6:30 and Mondays I'm on at My brain's not working. On Mondays, I'm on at 12:30, and then I'm with Comic Relief Crusader. And then on Fridays, I do a 12:30 show and a 6:30 show. And on Sundays, I'm on 7:30 p.m. U.S. Eastern Standard Time.
Cool.
Sounds good.
And we just did a live watch of Man of Steel. You can catch Germ and other people there. He's a friend of the channel and a frequent co-host.
Yep. Copper?
Emma links.
Well, I ain't got nothing, folks. I'm just glad that these guys let me on their panel. You guys all have a good part 5 of the new year, I suppose. Eventually, I'll have something.
Cool.
Okay.
Cool.
Gorilla, what you got?
Well, tomorrow we're reviewing the Waltons episode, The Cradle, but I'm going to keep that a closed panel because I've not been feeling well, so I want to keep the group small so it goes by a little bit faster. Saturday we're reviewing Enemy. Is it Enemy Mine or Enemy Mind?
It's
Mine.
Enemy
Oh,
Mine.
that's the one with
It's Enemy Mine.
Louis Gossett Jr.
You're gonna love that movie. It's fun.
And then on Sunday we are watching Mad Max.
Yeah, Louis Gossett.
Then Wednesdays will be Justified.
Louis Gossett was in the 90s Punisher, too.
Yeah, good stuff.
Sounds good. As for me, we'll have Saturday morning cartoons this Saturday at 8 a.m. Pacific time.
Oh, wow.
If you
That's
want to
tomorrow.
help choose what we're doing, there's a community tab pull up right now. Yogi Bear is just barely beating out Smurfs, but you have until tomorrow night to vote.
Oh, that's some
The
boomerang
announcing the winner-
stuff.
Oh yeah, I'll announce the winner at the end of Gorilla's Walton streams tomorrow. Then
Hey,
we'll have Nerd Night watch party. Be watching Andromeda on Tuesday night at 5 p.m. Also, we'll have the shorts and the intros, and then we'll be back next Thursday with an open panel after Teague Show. Thanks for stopping by, everybody.
Do we have to fortify that election? Or that poll?
You're free to vote as early and as often as you want.
Oh, man, is there another chat coming? It's only 10 o'clock.
Take care, everybody.